All right, y'all. So, I just got on live because a lot of people, since I posted like the stuff that I went through, a lot of people have been DMing me and asking me like different questions because they have been going through it too. So I decided to get on live so I could really tell y'all, what was going on and what I did. So I think it was like maybe the mid part of April or something like that. April or May. I don't really remember. I started getting stomach irritations and stuff like that. And normally when I would get stomach irritations, it would probably just be from something that I ate, or something like that. But it wouldn't be, too much to the point where like I had to change my diet or I would get, well, I guess I wouldn't even know if I was actually getting the issues from my vagina from my stomach, because I didn't know the two related to each other. So basically what happened was I ended up, after long suffering and going through pains and stuff, and diarrhea and loose stools and stuff, I started going to the doctor to see what was going on. So I went to the emergency clinic, and because that's why I would normally go, like if my vagina was irritated or if I had BV or something, like before I came back to Houston, I would just go there. So I went to the emergency clinic, and they was basically like I just had like a bunch of stress, and like they tried to give me something for like ulcers or acid or something like that. So I took the little medicine or whatever, and it was like nothing really happened. So then I went back and they gave me like some antibiotics. They said that if any bacteria was in my gut, and that's where I was getting the irritation from, then it would, it would get rid of like that. So I went ahead and I took antibiotics that they gave me, and that didn't work. So I'm just like, okay, well, maybe I just need to change my diet. Like maybe something else is wrong. Like I just didn't really know. So I end up go ahead and having like an online face-to-face like we do now live. I end up having to go there and, well, like go online and schedule me a doctor's appointment, blah, blah. And I talked to a young doctor or whatever, and I told him what was going on. Like my stomach was irritating. I had diarrhea. Well, at that time I was having it on and off. I wasn't having full diarrhea. I was telling him like certain things that I ate, wouldn't agree with my stomach and things like that. So he had me to go take some blood tests or whatever. So when I went to go take the blood test, my stomach did come back with bacteria. So he gave me the antibiotics for the bacteria. But then my stomach still was irritated. Matter of fact, after I had got the antibiotics, the stomach conditions got worse. And then I end up catching like a UTI. I end up catching a UTI, and then I end up getting like BV, and I end up getting yeast like all at one time. So I went back to him and I'm like, hey, such and such is going on. Like all this stuff going on. I burn when I pee. I'm itching down there. And then I had used the petals to get rid of the yeast infection. So I'm like, well, why is all this going on? Like, what do I do? All right. So they go ahead and they give me medicine for a UTI. So mind you, like this is my third course of antibiotics that I have been on. Plus I'm on acid reducers and like stomach coaters and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm steady getting all this medicine and all this medicine. So I was even, confused about what was going on, because I'm like, why are y'all sending so much medicine to this, to the pharmacy or whatever? Like, why am I steady getting medicine like back to back, back to back? Like, why is this going on? So I called the doctor and I'm like, hey, I took everything you wanted me to take, like, and now the pharmacy is calling, my phone or whatever, saying that I got extra prescriptions. Like, what is this for? You never even told me, like, why I'm taking these extra prescriptions, and which it was acid reducing stomach coater. And I'm like, what? I'm already done took like 3 cases of antibiotics. So like, what is this stuff for? And he could only tell me that, it's for stomach coating and stuff like that. So now I'm to the point, like, when I eat, now my stomach irritated. Like, it is aching, it's paining, my anxiety is through the roof. I will not eat nothing my husband cooked. I won't go outside and, buy nothing to eat from these restaurants. Everything that I eat, I have to cook for myself, because my anxiety is that bad to the point where I don't know, what's really going on, because I'm tore up. Plus, I'm steady having irritation and stuff in my vagina. And like, I'm so dry to the point, like, sex is not even something that I can even consider an option at this point. So like, my whole world is shattered. My whole world is shattered because I don't know what to do. Make a long story short, I told them like, hey, I'm tired of going through all this. Let me just go ahead and get an appointment to a gastrologist. Let me just do that. So they're like, well, let me put you on this. Let me put you on that. And I'm to the point where I don't want to take no more medicine. I do not want to take no more medicine because I need to find out what's seriously wrong with me. Why do I have stomach issues? Why do I have vaginal issues? Like, why is this stuff, all of a sudden going crazy? Why are my nerves so bad? So the lady's like, well, I'll go ahead and I'll sign you up for a gastrologist, blah, 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 blah. And I guess she thinks that I'm playing because a lot of people are scared to go to gastrologists. But I'm more of the type like this. I do a lot of holistic things. So just tell me the problem and I'll find a way to fix it. So pretty much like, she thought it was a game. She thought I was playing. So I had to call the office back because she never gave me a piece of paper. She never told me that she referred me off to a gastrologist or nothing like that. So I come home and I tell my husband, like, hey, I asked her to refer me off. She said she did. He's like, no, baby, go ahead and write them a letter and then call. So I wrote them a letter or whatever, and the lady immediately got on it. And that's when she sent me, the paperwork to go to a gastrologist. So, I went to a little gastrologist. They did the little tube down my throat, and they said that my stomach was inflamed. So, mind you, I took a bunch of antibiotics. I took acid reducers that supposedly supposed to, bring down the acid. And that's all they gave me. No diet change. No, nothing telling me what to do. So at this point, now I'm to the point of, now it's just me and God. It's just me and God because they can't help me. Even at the appointment with the gastrologist, I asked him, hey, like, when do I come back? Because my dad is like, hey, talk to them and make sure, like, you could do your checkups and stuff like that because cancer runs on that side. So he's like, stay up on it because, you don't want to get into all this. So I asked the doctor, like, when do I come back? He said, as needed. So I really knew at that moment when he said as needed, it's just me and God. Like, this is not a game no more. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? What do I do at this point? I had to take things into my own hand. So that's when I learned, that food plays a major role in everything that we go through. That's when I learned that the bacteria that was in my gut could have easily been eliminated if I just added a prebiotic and a probiotic in. It would have been, it wouldn't have been as an antibiotic, but it would have been strong enough to get rid of the bacteria that was trying to form into my stomach. If I ate properly, then some of the things that I was going through, like irritation and stuff like that within my stomach, wouldn't have been able to get me to the point of, an inflamed stomach because I'm eating things that doesn't make my stomach inflamed. My nerves, my anxiety was so far through the roof that, like I said, I wouldn't eat nobody's cooking. Not a restaurant cooking, not my husband cooking. My daughter would make me breakfast. I wouldn't eat hers. So I knew then that this was pretty much a issue that affects your stomach, but also affects your womb because at this time I'm just not me no more. So like this was an issue that I had to really buckle down on and figure out. And what I figured out was you have to pay attention to things that you eat. As far as like womb teas and stuff like that to fix my vaginal issues when I had like the UTIs. In order for them not to come back, I use prebiotics and probiotics. I use the UTI resolution that I have. I do like a little cleanse weekly to make sure that my bacteria that's inside my urinary tract is not out of the whack because I'm not taking no more antibiotics from them. They couldn't even help me to this point when it comes to like to help me get back juicy and moisturized and stuff like that, I do my womb teas and I take my bee sting teas. I really don't even drink a bunch of, juices and stuff like that. If I drink something, it probably be coconut water, or I get my, my hydration and stuff out of my fruits and my food. I do not play with my body no more. When it came to the doctors telling me that there's nothing that they could do, my whole world turned around. It was, like I said, it was only me and God. So there was a lesson that he was trying to teach me that I had to get correct. So, I'll let you guys know more about what's going on, and you guys can replay back this live and stuff like that, and y'all can ask me questions independently. But I have put together a class to teach you guys indefinitely about how to actually, heal your womb and also your stomach, because there is a such thing called gut and womb axis that they do not tell us about. And I do know now, for a fact, as my body personally, my past of eating, how I want to eat, eating Shipley's donuts, drinking Cokes, not eating all day at work, stressing, not paying attention to things that was my own business, my personal life business, but I was so worried about what other people thought about me and things like that is no longer a part of my life, because that is called stress. If it doesn't include my goals or what I want to do, my health and things like that, I don't care about it. So that's how I, kind of relieve my stress of taking on the world handles. I do massages and things like that in order to keep my mind at ease, because especially like now in times, you don't want to overwhelm your brain, because again, the brain has a connection to the gut as well. So if you're stressed in the mind, and sometimes we don't even know we're stressed, just alarming, and me getting on this live and telling y'all this story about me is bringing back anxiety, because I have to relive what I went through. And I don't want nobody to go through what I went through at all. It was horrible. I am thankful that I went through it, though. That I am thankful for. But I would never want nobody to go back and relive what I went through, because it was times that I didn't even, think that prayer would have got me out of it. Honestly, just to be real honest, I didn't think prayer would have got me out of it, but prayer was the only way. And God really showed me. So I had to be strong just to show y'all. So when I'm telling y'all this, don't think it's a game. It's not. Your gut and your vagina really is something serious. So don't think it. Don't think it. But I will teach a class to show y'all the stuff that I went through, and to show you how to get out of it, because it's hard and it's a test. It's a real hard test, and you don't want to play with it at all. It's a real hard test. So don't think it. Y'all can watch this live again, but I'm gonna go ahead and go. And I'll just put when I'm gonna do the class to show y'all what you're supposed to eat, what you're not supposed to eat. How stress in your body could really relate and really, cause things to get you sick. Sick to the point that nobody could do nothing for you but God himself. So when it comes to the foods that he told us to eat them. Eat them, because your body needs the nutritions. And your body actually needs hydration, and it needs vitamins, and it needs minerals, and it needs all these things, not because we just want to eat them, but in order to live and do the works of God and to spread his word and to help people with their conditions, you have to do your part. That means take care of your body. And how did I get this? I don't know. I eat fairly clean. Even when I wasn't sick, I ate fairly clean. I mean, I used to go eat Shipley's, but that's not like I had a big ass box and stuff. No, I didn't. I like vegetables. I have always liked vegetables. I have always liked things that were pretty much like healthy, like turkey meat. I love the hell out of turkey meat. I stopped eating pork. Well, we stopped eating pork like 3-4 years ago. No, longer than that, because that was when we came back from Cali. It had been like 5 years ago, huh? So it's about 5 years I haven't even ate pork. So, like, I normally, you know, cook from scratch anyway, but this period of time, like, I wasn't. I was buying food, and especially Corona had just, well, it was like a year Corona had come out, and, like, I was going through a bunch of stress and stuff like that, so maybe that's how I got the bacteria in my stomach. But, like, I don't know. But like I am, you know, glad that I did go through it so that I could know that the field that I'm in as far as, you know, womb health and stuff like that has a root cause to it. And the root cause is what we eat. And, you know, nobody would never say that. Nobody could ever put that mentally into my mind or into somebody else's mind until you physically have to go through it. So, you know, for those of us who don't know what's going on with our body, start with what you eat. Start with the food. Start with your stress level. Start with implementing herbs, because that is definitely what I do. I researched a while ago and it said that tea drinkers are one of the healthiest people. And why? Because they're not drinking soda waters and they're not drinking juices and stuff like that. They're actually sitting up here drinking, you know, things that's healing to the body. They're not just sitting right here having the body like, okay, well, I'm just going to do what I want to do. No, they're doing things that will help their body. Those people that are out here that's trying to go vegan or that's going to go vegan, y'all pay attention to what you put into your body, because even though you're vegan, you still need protein. You still need the right amount of vegetables, the right amount of fruits, the right amount of nuts, the right amount of hydration. So don't just think because you're going vegan that you're healthier than everybody else. No, don't think that at all. But like I said, I'm going to put together a class and I'm already doing it. I have, you know, went through my notes and stuff for my symptoms and the things that I use in order to help create me be a better me, and to help create me teach you guys, you know, a lot more, because I have learned a lot. Like they say, the price went up. I could really up my price because of the blood and the sweat, the tears, the pain that I really went through in order to learn this stuff. It wasn't something I could get out of a book. The book wasn't going to teach me. Like, I had to walk through the valley by myself in dark. Living in a house with my husband and my daughter, I still felt alone because I was going through this journey. So just know that, you know, I know what it really is. And it's because I personally went through it myself, not because I opened up a book and read somebody else's experience. It wasn't like that. It wasn't. But all right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining, and be on the lookout when I start advertising, you know, my class and stuff like that. And if y'all have any questions, just go ahead and hit my DM. Y'all know I got you. All right, you heard it here first. You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you. Y'all have a great night.